Hey, good morning, crew. We are back live, as you might imagine. Not live, but hey, anyway, we're here with the man of the show just to spend a couple of minutes in chat and find out what it's like to be behind the scenes of putting on an amazing show like this. But I really want the inside, Brad, as much as anything else.
Well, first of all, Allan, thank you for having me, and shout out to the work that you do.
Thank you.
I've only briefly had the chance to meet. We've had like these brush bys, right?
Yeah.
You know,
that's
they don't even qualify as stop and chats.
No,
you know what I mean?
no.
It's just like, hey man, love your stuff, you love you too, you know, and then we just kind of keep moving, you know, and then it's always been like that. Like you have been one of those people I've always wanted to connect with deeper because I love your insights. And I've been waiting to tell you to your face that I think you're one of the smartest people in this space. I think you have incredible insights, and the way that you speak about what's going on in this space is super helpful.
Thank you.
And I see and I say this in a way as a measure of equal. I do not say this in a manner of condensation. I want you to understand, I see myself in you. I see the way that you process and the way that you see things. And I find that like when you share your videos, and I don't know what your video count is, but I'm probably like 80% of some of those because I watch and rewatch. Because I'll like, this guy puts stuff forward that you don't take it and just go to the next thing. It's like, whoa.
Yeah,
what did he just say? Let me back that up about a minute and a half and catch the way he just laid that out again. And I appreciate that level because we all don't have a clue about where things are really going.
We have no idea.
We have no idea. So the more people can bring that speculative element to it, where it bothers a lot of other people for, I cannot figure out why. But you know, but we all admit that we don't know the answer to what's going to happen.
That's right.
The more we can bring in the kind of free thinking to process the different areas or avenues that it may go.
Yeah,
so
that's right.
I super appreciate your insights. I'm sorry to be so long-winded.
No, that's
I've
okay.
been waiting to say this to you for a long time.
I'll slip you the money later.
That's right. Check's in the mail.
Check is in the mail.
You can go net 30.
Okay,
you know what I mean? So,
For me, when I got into the space, the first thing I noticed in the space was, well, we got a lot of news content, and everybody's doing a crushing that. I'm like, well, there's no space for me. What am I going to do? What am I going to talk about? So I wanted to talk about the people. But my sons always said, Dad, you're a storyteller.
Yes.
But you're a visionary.
Yes.
And you love people.
Yes.
And I was like, well, okay, I'll try it. And then what I didn't know was more and more people start showing up, like Coach JB, and he's got a soul and a heart. You know what I mean? And so does Zach and all these other, Molly and all these people. And then I felt like, well, there isn't a niche for me. You know, you know how that competitive person, you're like, there's no place for me.
It's the worst thing you could ever think.
It's the truth.
It's the worst thing you could ever think, because look at the contribution you've made.
Right. Yeah, thank you.
Look at the way you've impacted me.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like you caused me to rethink things in a level. And in fact, I'm glad we got a chance to pull out into this room because there is a topic I'd like to talk about with you when you're ready.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
What do we got?
USD Tether.
I knew that was going to be a conflict between the two.
It's not, but it's not. You don't see Tether going away, and I think that could absolutely take place.
I know that you see it going away for quite some time.
No, I don't. I proposed here, and let's be clear.
Yeah, no, because you're right.
There's a range. I'm not sure what's going to happen. Will it? It's like a sliding scale. Like, will it go to the point of a collapse and they push the market cap of Tether into USDC and then the Ripple stablecoin?
Yeah.
Or will it be, no, Tether is compliant because they're going to be tucked under FDIC conservatorship once they pass the legislation, and then they're forced onto the XRP ledger to be compliant because there's no other way to make them compliant because they don't do KYC and AML.
In a perfect world, that's going to happen. I hope that's what happens, right?
Right.
And all the points and all the arrows are pointing in that direction.
Yeah.
I hope that's what occurs. My logic was always, well, I kind of know how the Federal Reserve works, and I kind of know how banking works, and I kind of get how the picture has rolled out over my lifetime. And I'm like, well, wait a minute. Nobody's buying those damn bonds. And I'm thinking, well, Tether is.
That's right.
Right? And they get a lot of money, and it seems like they just can be printing stuff or backed by the Federal Reserve to go ahead and buy those bonds. And I thought, that's magical. Well, maybe this whole stable coin thing wasn't just organically created. Maybe there were a couple of people on the backside that said, hey, you know what we're going to do with this thing? We're going to make that another way for us to print liquidity in the market. And everybody blamed it sort of on Bitcoin, that, oh, Bitcoin just advantaged. As soon as they pulled Tether, Bitcoin's going to zero. I was like, come on, that's not what's happening. But when I read those documents, what the Swiss did with Tether, and I know you saw it.
Yes. Yeah.
And somebody sent it to me, and I read that, and I went, well, the Swiss don't make banking mistakes. You know, those are some of the people that I know. And I was like, well, wait a minute. If they believe it's money or currency, whatever you like to call it, and it's collaterable, it's not going anywhere.
That's right.
At least internationally.
Yeah.
But your point all along was the U.S.
Yes.
All the way. I love that you're such a patriot. You're such an American, and you believe in your country and your home, as we all do.
Yeah.
But I was like, wait a minute. He's confusing the cryptocurrency as being American. And I thought, well, yeah, but the world's bigger than America. And that was my point.
Yeah,
and I wasn't trying
to.
So a lot of people, oh yeah, you and Brad are into. I was like, no. We have the same view.
Yes.
We know where it's going.
Right.
Well, we don't know where it's going. We already went over that.
We're not sure of the complete outcome.
No, that's right.
But we know where it's going down this highway. But if it's taking exit 8 or exit 12, we're not sure yet. But that's the fun of this.
But somebody sent me your video just the other day where you were talking about being backed by gold now.
Yeah.
Tether, and I was like, okay, game changer.
That's a game changer. This conversation.
Yeah,
I want your thoughts on it.
It big is.
I mean, that's the CEO of Tether saying this. Right?
I know. Yeah.
So what does that mean to you?
Yeah, that tells me. You know what that tells me? He's already been working with the BIS.
Yeah,
that's what that tells me.
And doesn't that tell you too that this also kind of really comes together with the whole Secret Service and the FBI's partner with, I mean, isn't that a funny statement anyway? The CEO of Tether comes out and says, "Oh, by the way, late 23, we're partnered with the Secret Service and the FBI, like they are specialized in merger acquisitions all of a sudden."
Yeah, that's right.
You know what I mean?
No, I caught
what
that
kind of
too.
bullshit
I
is
was
this?
like,
It's unbelievable, right?
Yeah, no, it is. But what hit me with that whole statement was, if you backtrack and you say to yourself, okay, everybody in crypto was even like, well, this is 2-3 years ago now, 4 years ago probably. What's Tether going to do now that they have to be audited? You remember that big, 3-4 years ago?
Yes.
Oh my God, everybody's going to panic. Do they have the money? Do they have the backing, the capital? And what happened? It got about halfway through it, and then they just stopped counting.
That's right.
You remember that?
Yes.
And it just went away. Somebody just tucked it under a door. That told me, in my pea-sized little brain, that told me that what happened there was somebody slipped somebody under the door, obviously, but what they really said was, you start buying our bonds, and we'll be good with you.
We'll figure it out.
We'll figure that.
And I lean into that.
Somebody got to prop this thing up.
That's right. And I lean into that because when you look at the SEC, or the Secret Service, which is their original agency, was created to combat counterfeit money and counterfeiters. That's the original creation of the Secret Service. And when you see that they're connected like that, and to the points that you just made about they started buying treasuries at a larger rate and volume, it tells me that the Fed is using that as a portal to support their bonds, while the rest of the world is absolutely, they're overseeing how much is happening. They're using that to conflate, right? And maybe they take conservatorship of it, and that becomes the U.S. digital dollar. I don't know. Maybe it becomes Ripple stablecoin, because it could be taken under conservatorship, and then they'd give it to Ripple to run. I don't know. Maybe Ripple does Tether and launches their own stablecoin, and then there's a competition. Who knows? I don't know where this goes.
No, we don't know, but we do know is they're creating many forms and off-ramps and on-ramps of what they're going to do with that old digit.
Yeah, that's right.
That's exactly what you just said to me, in plain English.
Yeah, because the dollar's staying, right?
Right.
The dollar is staying. And it's funny, too. I had a really wonderful conversation with Chris Giancarlo yesterday before we went on stage.
Brilliant, man.
He's so brilliant. That guy is so brilliant.
Yeah.
And he will not mind me sharing what I'm going to share either. So it's not like, it's not anything disrespect to him. It was just a great conversation. And one of the things that I asked him, and in our conversation, the way the flow went, I just didn't get a chance, and then we ran out of time. Yeah. But I asked him, I was like, hey, man, if we get a new administration and the SEC or if we get a new administration and the government calls, and are you picking up the phone to answer the call and serve, like to be the next SEC chairman? Would you do it?
Brilliant.
And
Brilliant question.
He said, yeah, you do it.
He would do it. Really?
He would do it. And what's important about that, and that would have
That's
to
huge.
happen, and he would have to be asked, right? So we got quite a few mountains in front of all of this. So, but the reality is that if you look at Chris Giancarlo's career, what's so impressive about that is not only is he really smart about this space, but as a CFTC chairman, we know that he is all about innovation. So, if he were to have, there's a lot of things that have to happen for that to happen, but
that's right.
If he were to take that, it would just quite simply mean to me that you've got the right person in there that knows how to oversee and open the logjam for innovation to thrive and America to be a leader again in the space.
Yeah.
And then we're off to the races.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's what always interested me in Ripple, was who they've hired, the way they hired him, all the fundamentals. The fundamentals there. I talk about it every day on my show. It's like, I don't care about your meme coin. Yeah.
I
own some Bitcoin, of course, but like there's a few other coins that I have. But that coin just tells me everything I need to know about where money's going.
Yes.
And it's not even maybe anymore.
Yeah.
And it blows my mind that somebody can actually be only into Cardano or something and not own a damn XRP coin.
I know.
Not a one.
I don't get it.
Like, and they call themselves researchers or something. Like, you look at it, well, wait a minute. You haven't opened your eyes yet and looked around.
It's funny, to your point, Allan, people will hear what we're saying and some will be, oh, XRP maxi
Sales
talk.
pitch.
But it's not. You know what I mean? It really isn't. Like, and I'll come at it from this perspective for anybody who thinks that the conversation's hit that maxi moment, right? And here's where I see the difference. Look what's happened. Consensus and a profit-making company like Ripple using the decentralized and the tech stack of XRP.
I know where you're going with this.
Yeah, you know where I'm going, right?
Yeah.
They sue that model and they sue that kind of that technology
That's right.
for legal precedent.
Yeah.
And now they're suing proof of stake and it's Ethereum.
Yeah.
And as I've heard somebody say, karma's a bitch.
It is.
So all the best with that one. But we are in the boat together.
Not a happy
and
bitch.
Ethereum's crew just found out that they're actually in our boat, right?
Yep, they
Welcome
are.
to the 2-3 year journey we just got getting off on. So, then they're going to sue proof of work, and it may be Bitcoin. It may be some other proof of work. But they're going to sue they're going to sue an NFT company, and it won't be one. They will sue multiple ones.
They will.
They've already sued some DeFi money market, right?
Yep.
BlockFi. That was DeFi case, right? But there's different versions of these business models that they're going to sue for that legal precedent. And when they get it, it'll take 3, 4, 5 years. Then they'll pass crypto legislation based around that legal precedents that have been set. That'll be their frames, their point of reference. That's how I see this going at this point.
It's
right?
done already. Yeah.
But but the stable coin legislation we need because it's so important because it's not a stable coin bill, it's a tokenization of real world assets bill.
Those old digits in the new, brand new, shiny.
And the stocks, the bonds,
all of it.
the derivatives,
All
the
of it.
gold, the silver, all the commodities, because that stablecoin bill allows you to tokenize it all.
Yep.
So, I don't know, man. It's a super exciting moment.
And it's, to your point earlier, that's exactly what it's done. Not only is it going to make the dollar relevant going forward, digitally on a stablecoin issue as well.
Yeah.
Like, it has both. It has the backing of the stablecoin by the government, by the feds, obviously, but internationally, like we just talked about with BIS and the Swiss, they've decided we're going that direction.
Yeah.
They made it public, and everybody's standing around with I don't know what in their hand.
That's right.
And they're not focusing. And every day I just want to grab them by something and just, what are you doing out there? What are you buying? I mean, I've been investing since I was 21 years old.
Yes.
I got my tail kicked in futures contracts and silver contracts with the Hunt brothers.
Yeah. And you're like 27 now, right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it was just last week. And I got crushed in the 87. I was a stockbroker in the 87 crash. And so I've been around and I've seen a couple of really good opportunities. .com comes. Had a brilliant conversation with a brilliant mind last night about .com and exactly what you're talking about with the old digits and the new digits.
Yeah.
And Quincy Jones.
Oh, come on, man.
I called him Percy. I can't even deal with it.
Quincy's a genius, man. He's brilliant.
I started having the .com
love it.
conversation with him, and he was like, "Wow, man, this guy. What do you mean? You were there? You were, you know?
Yeah.
He's like 12 or
I
something,
know,
right?
man, and brilliant. It's like, but beautiful energy. That's the other thing. It's not just brilliant. His energy is just like when you're around him. You just feel your whole life elevating. And I mean that. I mean, he knows it. I've said it to him. I love him.
No, I tell him every time I see him. I got smarter just standing there.
Absolutely. My credit score went up when I got near him. Serious. I went like 720 to 780. It was just like, God damn. I was, well, yeah.
He hit me with this. I don't know if he hits you with this all the time. It's like, yeah, well, I got an NDA on that. I can't go there. I'm like, what? Come on. He's like, you got a YouTube channel. I was like, yeah, but come on. A little something. Just XTZ, that's it. That's all we're buying today.
Yeah, man. You know, I tell you, this is a remarkable time in this space. And I'm super grateful that people like you are here, right? And that you have your knowledge and your experience.
Yeah.
I draw on it. And in fact, I want to talk to you about collaborating with you on an idea that I've got for my own channel that I'd like to do, and maybe it would be something you'd be interested in or not. But I want to work with you.
I'm too busy.
I want to work with you. It would not surprise me. It would not surprise me because you're upset. Well, you know, I seriously would like to talk with you about that. You know, because I like the back and forth and the play a little bit. Right?
Love it.
And,
love it.
And it's hard to find with people, you know,
and,
you know, people can just have their viewpoints and not feel like trying to win an argument. It's very comfortable.
If you can keep up with his mind,
if you can keep up with his mind, I don't even know how you would do that.
This interview is easy.
Yeah, exactly. You know what I mean? Yeah, exactly. It comes with a box of crayons. I mean, you just sit there and just sketches some shit. You know what I mean?
But look, I appreciate your time.
Thank you, man.
I do want to say one thing, just a shameless plug.
Sure.
I have a small charity that I work with. My wife and I started, and we're really happy about it, and it's growing, and we're just excited that you have donated. Brad was generous enough to donate a ticket to it for our party the other night. I want to say I really appreciate it, for number one. And number two, in the future, anything I can do to help this show prosper, hit me up the month or two before, or whatever you need from me, I'll do it.
Oh man, well,
I'm yours.
I'm super grateful for that, and man, and I'm super grateful for everybody that's come, and it's been so well received. And look, this is 10.5 months of my wife and I's life planning this. She has a full-time career. I got a full-time career with the channel, 14, 16 hours a day.
How do you put out so much content?
It's very hard. It is a 14, 16-hour day.
You put out a video yesterday or something, somebody told me. I said, what?
Let me tell you.
Is this man out of his mind? What happened to that man?
A little bit, yeah.
What happened to that man?
A little bit. Yeah, I tell you, you know, a 30-year professional musician, if there's one thing I've had to learn is consistency. Yeah. You don't get the call if you aren't consistent.
That's it.
And I've had to learn that through your wallet.
That's right.
Right?
Oh, yeah.
And you don't have to learn that but once.
I have a hard knocks degree.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, me too. And it serves you. And you know what? There's something to be said for that, right?
Oh, yeah.
And I also come from not a lot.
Yep.
You know, my family was poor. Now, we didn't live in a poor way. Like, you know, you wouldn't know you were poor. You elevated. Like, your mind was set to do better things in your life. But we came from a poor neighborhood.
Yeah. My mom was a good liar about that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You know,
I didn't feel poor.
Yeah, you didn't feel poor. You opened the fridge and there was something in it, but you knew damn well, you know, you live in a bad neighborhood. That's straight up. Lock the door, brother. Somebody will come in. You know what I mean? You know, so.
But look what you've done with it.
Yeah, man, and that's the thing, right? And honestly, you know, there's people think this is so corny, but I operate in the service of others, and I figured that out as a musician. And I always tell people, if you're confused in life, because I was very lucky, I was fortunate that by the time I was 4 or 5, I knew I was going to play drums and music for the rest of my life. And most people
That's a blessing.
It is a blessing, because most people go through their life and can't find it.
What am I going to do?
I don't know what to do.
Yeah.
I never really truly found it.
Somebody tell me what to do in life.
I knew exactly what I was going to do. I told all my friends, and I grew up and I did it, right? You know, so I understand looking back at that at 53, and I understand that's special. Because not everybody wakes up that way.
No, it is.
You know, and most people go a long part of their life.
That's a gift.
It's a gift.
Yeah.
And I do feel like, you know, there is a way to be, sometimes you can be chosen for that. I don't think I chose drums. I think it chose, you know me. I think it chose me.
Yeah.
You know, it was like, once I did it, I did it, you know. So, but there's a ton of work involved. But that consistency, I've brought everywhere I've done and had success in my life.
Yep.
And honestly, it's the one component that most others won't bring to the table. They'll do a lot of things, but the consistency, every day.
I agree.
And I'll tell you the intensity of that. How deep does that go? I've had surgeries where I would go out for 2 or 3 days, and I pre-record everything, so it's scheduled and releases while I'm under anesthesia.
I need to work harder.
So my audience
I clearly need to work harder.
So my audience doesn't feel me gone. And I don't discuss the fact that I was out and had surgery. You know what I mean? Till
You went through that eye surgery recently.
Yeah, no surgery.
No,
yeah.
I'm sorry.
And then had a hernia repair and all this stuff. And I just pre-recorded videos like, I know I got to go Tuesday. You better get the work done. People expect to hear you.
Yeah.
You're a part of other people's lives, and I don't take it for granted. And
No, you don't.
when you get that, when you're awarded that privilege and honor to be in someone's life, and to be a part of their routine, I don't know. It's like that if you come at it from their end, and many people have told me today how much I'm a part of their morning routine, their commute to work, when they come home and relax or whatever. And then we joke about the fact that the wife can't stand in the morning in their house, you know, which is great because my wife can't stand to hear me talk about crypto. So I love it. We joke about it all the time, but it's real. Yeah. She's like, I'm getting tired. Start talking about crypto. You know, she's gone. Right. You know, I'll be like, so anyway, so there's Ripple, this company. They're working with the Federal Reserve, faster payment.
The snoring,
She's gone, you know.
No, it's the truth.
And then if I tell her, like, hey, this good news happened, she's like, so let me guess, the price didn't go up. You know? So I got the biggest XRP troll living right in my house when I lock up at night.
Wait a minute, I can give you some competition.
Go ahead. But I will say, she did help with this conference, and she was massive key component of this conference. And Brad Kimes cannot do these things by himself. That's my secret weapon, and so is Digital Asset Investor, and those are the people that really help make all this happen.
Well, you may or may not
and
know.
the beautiful staff.
Yeah, my wife's a very analytical attorney. So I don't win any arguments. Period. I just decide, I'm a loser.
You share your thoughts, and then that's over.
It's done. So immediately after me sharing my thoughts about XRP, it's associated with an S coin.
Oh boy.
And I'm like, okay, all right. So she only knows Bitcoin, whatever the situation might be. But she shares it at my party the other night for XRP. And I'm like, thanks, love. You got my back. Huh? I love that, man. That's
really great.
Thank God I love you so much.
You pat my back and pull the knife out.
While you're at it. But the thing about it is the woman's magic because she keeps me real.
Yeah. Well, you know what? That's the beauty, right? I mean,
that's it.
Look, and I'll say this too about like the accolades and stuff that you get from so many people that tell you good things. And then there's certainly the haters have quite the volume of voice too, right?
I've got a couple of those.
But I'll say this though. This is what I'll say. And I've come to learn this, and it's kind of funny because I spent 30 years like backing up some really, famous people. Right? But it was really cool because I was a drummer. I just get my check, like the producer knew me or the music director or whatever, and I was like, I got my check, I gotta go. That's all you, And then I just admitted I was in and out for 30 years. That's how I loved it, and they loved that about me, right? So, but now I'm in the seat where like you get that attention and stuff, and it is quite overwhelming.
Overwhelming is the word I would use.
I have probably...
And your channel is like light years beyond mine, but it's overwhelming.
But it's still the same sense. It is. Still the same sense. And honestly, it's tough to process at times, right, Allan?
It is.
And you have to step back and just like comments on your videos and those things, it's not good to have somebody tell you you're brilliant or a genius every day, all day long. And it's not good to somebody tell you you're an asshole and a scam artist all day long either. You need that middle, and our wives are that middle ground. Right?
Thank God.
And they kind of give us that that anchor,
so true.
Right? And it's so healthy. And that's really the biggest thing. It's like keeping people tight in your circle. And also, my wife and I have been together for a long time, so she's been with me through all of it.
Yeah, all of it.
All of it.
Yeah, no, it's true. Yeah.
The down, the up, the down, up, down. I got wrecked in 08, 09. And that's only a lesson you have to learn once, right? So it's a quite
I got wrecked in 87, 99, 08. Yeah. And I lost a small fortune.
Yeah, I did too in 08,
6, 8 years ago.
Yeah. I got smacked in 08, 09.
But that's why we're here.
And you know what? It's why we understand what's going on.
Not only that, think about it. You found all those before you fumbled the ball.
That's right. But held on too long.
Yeah, that held on too long typically, or didn't know how to get out. I tell everybody on my show, the hardest thing to do is not to buy crypto. It's when do you get out?
That's right. Yeah.
Any trade, any sale. That's why I became a scalper. I traded Forex. And
I did that several years ago. You trade Forex?
I
man?
did for many years. Over,
now, what
10,
are your
12
pairs
years.
you love? What are your pairs you like?
I'm pound yen guy.
So
I love the move.
I used to do the dollar yen. I used to do the dollar yen, but then check this out.
But the dollar yen just doesn't even move all day.
But you know what I was doing? Here's what was happening though. Because the reason I was doing that is because I was playing gigs and I would come home at like 3, 4 in the morning and that was their time when they were smacking it.
Yeah, 9 o'clock, yeah.
So I would come home and I would scout, 150, 400 bucks or whatever. And I'm like, going to crash, and I'd sleep.
That's it.
And then what happened was, this is a great, I've never told this story. I'm sharing this right here. I love talking to you, man. Damn.
You're doing all the talking. I love it.
No, you're
I
hitting
sit
it,
back
man.
and
I love
just
it, man.
collect the checks.
But this is how I got out of Forex, right? I was like totally like just going in this thing recklessly doing this, right? And then I started like really feeling it because I was like, I had like this rhythm and I'm winning more than I'm losing, right? And this is going on for months, right? And I'm like, okay, maybe like a 4-to-1 or 5-to-1 ratio I'm winning out. I'm like, okay, all right, we're doing it, Sometimes twice, you're like, hey, this is working. This could be a thing.
I'm rich.
I'm rich, right? And then I started playing off the fundamental news, right? Like, so then I saw there's a hurricane headed into the Gulf, right?
I got this.
I was like, whoa. So I set my limit, I put my bet in.
The stop
and
limit.
I placed it, and I didn't put a stop limit, Allan.
Yeah.
This is where I learned this lesson.
Fell asleep at the keyboard.
I went upstairs to make a sandwich and get something to eat, a snack at night, and then come back down and watch my winning.
Been there.
Watch it all happen. And the hurricane, by the time I made the sandwich, had turned to go back out to sea. And I was $3,000 in the hole. For making a sandwich. It's the most expensive sandwich I've ever made in my life. You know what I mean? Stop limit markers. I mean, stop loss. You gotta have it. Gotta have it.
Yeah, unless you're a live, active trader.
Yeah,
and I
learned I'm not a trader because of that.
Yeah,
I'm not good.
Well, nobody is a trader.
Yeah,
it's not even a learned skill, believe it or not. There's so much that's going through your mind.
Yes.
And then, the dog's barking and the wife's calling you or something. And it's like, you have to be a machine.
Yes.
And that's, thank God for AI and robotics because they're better at it than we are.
Absolutely.
The emotions will kill you. A brilliant book called Trading in the Zone changed my whole life.
Oh, wow.
As far as trading. And I do it it's better about the psychology of trading. Okay. A brilliant book. I don't know the author's name.
I love that you bring that up because that's what wrecked me. I realized, I was like, I'm not at home here.
That's right.
I couldn't be settled. Every day was just a gut turning, you know what I mean? And I even went as far as I had an offshore account. I was really starting to get it.
Yeah.
I was going to go the whole thing, and then I just got in. I was just like, for 3 months of like really going at it. And I just was knots in my stomach. I was like, this is not me. I can't do this.
You're staring at the screen all day.
And I know people can do it, and God bless them. So I'm not down in it, but it's just not my vibe.
Obamacare came along, and I was in it. That's when I was doing well with it. Obamacare came along, the Dodd-Frank came along, and that messed me right straight up. So I had to move to Mexico just to trade because I couldn't get the ratios that I was getting before. And I had built my entire I built my entire protocol on those ratios, and I had mathed it out over a decade of being a trader.
Wow.
Yeah. That's a whole nother video. I'd like that,
should.
but I know you're a busy man.
Yeah, I know I got a lot of obligations.
You really
my phone's sitting here going.
But you're a great man.
Thank you.
And you give so much to our community. And I feel like a slacker only putting 3 videos out a week when I'm around you.
But here's the thing, though, man. Like, you got to do it to fit your life, right?
I do.
You have to do it to fit your life. Yeah. And if that's the schedule that people are used to, then that's the schedule they expect.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you had started one way and then changed, it might be might affect you differently.
Yeah.
But they've come to love you just the way you do it.
Well, thanks, man.
And I do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I mean that. I'm so glad, man. And I mean it. When we started this interview, it's so true. you know, I have wanted to sit down with you. You know, there's a few others too, right? And I'll tell you something. I just want to speak to like the younger guys that are out here, the Cypress de Monacours, the Zach Rectors, the Mickle Markets, and all the others. And I know I'm missing a couple.
Mickle's blowing up. I
love what all of them are doing. I love what all of them are doing because I'm 53, right? And I've given myself to this. And I will probably, when things get to where I need it to be, I'll probably do a video a day and break it back because I just love being in the space.
Yeah.
You know, and that kind of a vibe at some point.
This is addictive.
Yeah, it's addictive. And I love it because it keeps you inspired every day. It's so fast moving. I absolutely love it.
Yeah. And we get to meet so many brilliant minds. Zach Rector comes to mind.
Dude, he's super smart, man. I love him. And I think I think all those guys I mentioned, and more are rising stars.
And I told him last year at the show, I said, Zach, you know what, man? Crypto isn't big enough for you. Yeah. And I know how big crypto is.
Yeah, but he has a great political mind, too.
He's that guy.
Yes.
He is that guy.
Yeah, he could cross a lot of boundaries. And I do believe that, too. I've talked to him enough to know, And look, you could just tell, too, it's what he wants.
Oh, yeah.
When you see a man that knows what he wants.
That's it.
That's it. Yeah. Right? That's very good.
And his incredible wife. Anyway, we don't get personal with those two. We're going to do a video with them later, actually.
Wonderful. I love it, man.
Yeah.
And I appreciate you having me, Alan.
Thanks, Brad.
Yeah, man.
Thanks for being here.
Thank you so much, man.
Love you guys, and we are out.